everyone, and welcome to our Royal Rumble review. We did the predictions. We did the live stream, which worked out pretty well. I feel like that's something we can do again.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And then
I just because I watched ours to review the quality and stuff, and the audio quality was bad.
we've got
We're instituting this mic now instead of using the built-in mic on the.
We used that one.
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't know if you didn't notice. It was fine for the most part, but when we would get excited, it would clip very strangely, and it was just very unpleasant to hear. Anyway, that's hopefully, well, I've tested. It's been fixed. Moving forward, but I think we had the best reaction to Roman at number 30
Yeah.
because I was just like, really, and you were laughing your ass off.
Because you knew it was gonna happen. It was just why
They gave us the wrong Samoan named Joe.
that whole thing. This whole thing.
But, overall, I would have to say it was a really good show. We had two excellent title matches.
Yep.
And the Rumble, other than the last 15 minutes, you might have different feelings upon that. But for the most part, it was pretty good. I liked a lot of the stuff in the beginning. The middle was a little slow, and then it picked up at the end, and then we've talked about Roman.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's run through the card here, starting with pre-show matches. I know Peter probably didn't go back to watch the pre-show. But we started off with the SmackDown 6-woman tag between Becky, Natalya, and Mickey versus Naomi, Becky, and... Shit. I'm forgetting Nikki Bella.
Nikki and Mickey and
Naomi. It's like the fucking Spirit Squad all over again. I'm pretty sure, Mickey and Nikki were both members of the Spirit Squad. Nikki would go on to become Dolph Ziggler. Yeah. So, I gave this match 2 stars. It wasn't anything special. It had a couple high spots. One was really weird, where they all went into the middle of the ring and suplexed each other. It didn't. I think it was one of those things where they talk about it in the back and we'll do this, and they're like, yeah, that sounds cool, and then you get out there and do it, and you're like, that was not as cool as it sounded like it would be.
Worked on paper.
Yeah. Naomi pins Alexa Bliss with a split-legged moonsault, and she is now in line for the title shot at Elimination Chamber, which is what we figured.
Yep.
After we went through, and it was like, well, she's really the only one who's not in a feud at the moment, so options are limited. So yeah, she'll be wrestling Alexa for the belt at Elimination Chamber next week. After that, we had Cesaro and Sheamus versus Gallows and Anderson with the 2 referees. This was not the best match I've seen the 2 teams have, but it was okay. In the end, there was some shenanigans, despite the second referee. And Gallows and Anderson win it. Finally, they win the Raw Tag Team titles. Probably a few months too late.
Yeah.
But, they've got the belts on them now. We'll see where they go with it in the future, but at least they have some credibility being champions and all.
Yeah.
And then the final pre-show match was what? I don't remember. So it probably wasn't.
Reference.
Yeah. No, it probably wasn't super important. I want to say it had something to do with Rusev and Big Cass, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah,
So,
that sounds like
Rumble 2017.
considering how much they were in it.
Yeah. All right. So, pre-show. Oh, Nia Jax and Sasha Banks, right?
Right.
Yeah, 1 star on this match. I gave the other one 2.5. This match was exactly how we thought it would be, and it was not particularly good. Sasha, tried to get offense in, and then Nia would just throw her aside.
Just be like, no, I'm too big.
Yeah, that's basically how it went down. So Nia got the victory with the pop-up Samoan drop, I guess we would call it. And that was it. for the pre-show, and then we move on to the actual card,
Main stuff.
which opened with the women's title match between Bailey and Charlotte. It was an okay match.
Yeah.
I think that they can do better. The ending just kind of came out of nowhere. It was pretty abrupt, but we had some interesting spots, like Bailey doing her little vault over to vault back into the ring to do the cross body.
I remember that was pretty tricky.
Yeah, I don't know why they added in all the jumping, but
The extra faff.
it was all right.
Yeah.
She also went up to the top rope to give a Macho Man style elbow drop, and then Charlotte won with natural selection on the apron. I'm not a fan of natural selection being used as a finisher because I think it's kind of weak looking. But that's just me.
Yeah, I think it looks kind of strong. I don't know. I need to watch more of them. See more of them.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's her only other way to end a match besides the figure eight, and you don't necessarily want to tap everyone out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yep, that it kind of is like a fluky win to show that Bailey can hang. She just kind of made a small mistake, and that's probably going to be the impetus for the future matches. She did pin her again on Raw in a mixed tag. So, she's got her number on Raw, but Charlotte doesn't lose on pay-per-view.
Yeah, Canadian pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Queen.
Yeah, I guess WrestleMania seems like the spot. They're going to change the belt.
She defied her predictions. No.
Oh yeah, Charlotte did not have any wardrobe malfunctions, even the mundane ones.
Yeah, they finally locked that one.
I don't
they locked
think
that down.
she's never had an exciting wardrobe malfunction. She's caused Sasha Banks to have exciting wardrobe malfunction. Pulled that wedgie real tight. Oh, hell in a cell. All right, so yeah, it was an all right match.
Yeah.
2 3/4.
Yeah, I give it a 2.
I think is a fair rating for it. Moving on, the second match on the card was actually the Universal title match between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns in a no disqualification match with Chris Jericho above the ring in a shark cage.
Yes.
Now, this was a great example of how you should do a no disqualification match. Because there was like no wrestling involved. They just started beating the shit out of each other with anything they could find.
Completely zany. It was fantastic. We saw the construction, the sequel to the Kevin Owens Convention Center with the Kevin Owens Municipal Center and Day Spa.
Yes. This giant chair pyramid. I'm like, oh, that's gonna suck to go through that.
And I didn't think they were gonna do it. I'm like, no.
And then sure enough, it looked like it really sucked to go through that. Roman Reigns Superman punched Kevin Owens off the turnbuckle through the chair pyramid in what could not have been a fun experience for Mr. Owens. But, they kept going on the match. There was a spot where Chris Jericho dropped brass knuckles, of all things,
that was
from the shark cage, and Kevin Owens Superman punched Roman Reigns with the brass knuckles, and then Roman kicked out too.
Of course.
Kevin Owens also hit a stunner in this match out of nowhere. It was not the cleanest looking stunner I've ever seen, and I was just very surprised to see it.
That's probably, those two things are probably related.
Yeah. So Roman kicked out of that. So I think you're all expecting, if you haven't seen the show, I don't know why you're watching this before then, but you would all be expecting at this point, as we were, that, okay, Roman's going to hit his one spear, and that's going to be the end of it. However, no. Braun Strowman runs in, picks up Roman Reigns, throws him on the table without clearing anything off. Roman's head smacks off the monitor. He's like, well, that didn't work. Throws him in the ring, running power slam through a table in the corner. Pretty much just destroys the guy.
Tackles.
And then Kevin Owens rolls over and pins Roman Reigns to defend his title and job Goldberg in 80 seconds at Fastlane, as is the rumor. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Super entertaining.
It was a great match. It was a lot better than I thought it'd be going on. Like, they haven't had bad matches per se, but they never had a match where I was like, yeah, damn, that was fantastic. But this was really fun. really fantastic. I think we could have done without the shark cage gimmick.
But they gotta sell those toys.
They have to sell the Rumble cage. It just has to. It's not moving fast enough, so we have to incorporate it more in. So I'm expecting that Shaq versus Big Show will feature Charles Barkley suspended in a shark cage.
Yes. I will do that only if Shaq has the ups to get up and like hit the bar on the cage. Charles Barkley jumps down and it becomes a 2-on-1.
Maybe Shaq, like it's in Orlando, so maybe Shaq, when he was playing with the Orlando Magic, possessed the athletic ability to get up that high. But those days, long time ago.
He's selling Icy Hot now. Gold Bond. Just different skin things.
Black don't crack. So yeah, that was that. Like we said, really good match. It seemed like they were going to go with Roman and Strowman at Mania, but I guess that's a Fastlane match because of what happened after or later in the Rumble, which we'll get to. But entertaining match. Kevin Owens retains, and everyone's going to be really mad in a month when he loses the Goldberg. And this is the rumor, in less time than it took him to beat Lesnar.
Oh no, that's going to be. I don't know what they're. Why are they setting that up as a thing?
Because, well, I get it a little bit.
The swerve?
Well, no, I get it a little bit because if you're going to have a match main event WrestleMania, it should be for the title. And I guess they're dead set on having Goldberg and Brock on last to the main event. So, in that case, yes, maybe for a title, but I'm not a big fan of bringing in these old guys, these part-time guys who are only going to show up for 2-3 matches a year.
Right. And
putting them over everyone. Like, if it's an Undertaker match, sure, that's fine because of the tradition. And it's not like he's holding up a title hostage or anything like that. He comes in, he wrestles his match, they get the rub for wrestling the Undertaker, and that's the end of it. Same with like Triple H. I mean, usually the last couple of times he's just wrestled part timers, and when he goes to, and last year he put over the full time guy, so he knows how to do business.
He can go for it.
But and this I've rambled aimlessly about this, ranted and raving into the vacuum about how I hate how they book Brock Lesnar for this exact same reason. He goes over everyone on the full-time roster, wrestles maybe 3 times a year, and no one ever looks like they're on the same plane of existence.
Right. Yeah, he just sort of faffs about it. He's like, oh, I'm just super good because I'm super,
And then what do they do? Who do they give the rub to for beating him after all this time? Fucking Goldberg. A guy who is older.
Just what? Yeah.
And wrestles even less. Anyway, we then had Rich Swann.
Oh, stars?
Oh, this one, I gave this one 4.25 stars.
Yeah, 3.5, 4 for me, yeah.
Then we had Rich Swann and Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship in the slowest match I've ever seen a Cruiserweight wrestle.
Yes. They were like, okay, we're going for the big audience now. We're moving out of Cruiserweight. Let's just cut all the Cruiserweight stuff that makes it unique and just wrestle a match.
Yeah, they wrestled a below average heavyweight style match.
It's like getting Usain Bolt to play fucking football.
Yeah, like there wasn't fucking anything unique until the end when Rich started hitting his comeback and he did this diving 450 plancha onto Neville on the outside, and
it was great.
That got a reaction from the crowd, which had been
they were beyond dead. They were in the 7th circle.
You could hear a pin drop. People were getting up to get their soft pretzels and take a piss.
The cameras you could see a general shift in the camera angles.
Every time someone was getting up, they just try to find the densely populated area. People reacted to Neville winning, probably because it meant the match was over.
Move on to the next one.
But it wasn't a great match, but it was the right result. Hopefully, Neville can help get the cruiserweights going in the right direction. I'm a big fan of the idea. I've heard this pitched on a couple podcasts of bringing Kota Ibushi to face Neville at WrestleMania for the Cruiserweight title, which would be real nice.
I would like that if they don't do the same thing they did here.
Yeah, if they let them wrestle their style, I think that would be a really fun match.
And it's a good it's a change of pace. Either way, you don't want to have all matches be wrestled the same style.
Yeah.
You want to bring in some different contenders.
Which, you figure that's how they'd book it, but, whatever. Fourth match for the WWE title, we had AJ Styles versus John Cena in what was probably... No, it was definitely the best match of the night. I don't think there's any debate about that. And it was a really good match. It was very similar to their SummerSlam match, and then it was big spot, kick out, big spot, kick out, but they did sell a little more, and there was a little more wrestling in it. I liked it a little bit better than their SummerSlam match. And toward the end there, they're going, this is going good, and then I see it happen in slow motion. AJ Styles hits the second style clash, doesn't go for the pin. I'm like, oh no. Before I could finish forming the thought in my head, I'm like, oh, this is like the finish to Summers. No!
And you called it out. You can go back and watch the reaction video. Go watch it with the footage, and you'll see that we call it.
I'm like, he's going to go try to hit the forearm, and then he's going to get AA'd and lose. And then he went to hit the forearm. He got AA'd. Cena picked him up again for another AA, and then pinned him. So John Cena ties Ric Flair's fake record of 16 titles. The real record, according to him, is probably closer to 23 than 16. Yeah. But WWE has been using the 16 number for a long time. So just because. So he ties that. He had a little conversation with Little Nate at the end. Of course, they got Little Nate to be the referee for this.
Oh yeah.
Only made sense. So it looks like, in fact, he's gonna be dropping that title at Elimination Chamber because of the results of the Rumble, and they really haven't drawn much attention to him tying the record. They mentioned it, of course, but they haven't made it a huge deal that you would expect it to do. So it's probably just going to be a short little title reign, and then when he comes back,
then they can
around SummerSlam this year, I suppose. When he comes back around SummerSlam, they'll probably do the whole Quest for 17 storyline.
Yeah, and they'll tout it, and it'll be a crazy big thing.
More pomp and circumstance. But anyway, this is just a phenomenal match. I would say, I would give it 5 stars for me.
Yeah, 4.5, 5.
It was just, it was everything that their I keep saying Money in the Bank. SummerSlam match was, but just a little bit better for me. I mean, I definitely prefer the results of the SummerSlam match with AJ winning clean in the middle, but as far as
that polish.
Yeah, as far as this, and especially in the context of this event, SummerSlam was just a slog, and I was really tired, and that match came on early. And it was okay, and now I gotta sit through all this shit. But this, we had already had some good matches. I was feeling it. The cruiserweights brought me down a bit. This got me back into it. Just in context, it felt better for me.
Yeah.
And then that led to the Royal Rumble, which kicked off with Enzo and Cass cutting a long promo. I was really hoping they would have number 2 enter and be in the ring before they were finished with their promo.
That would have been fantastic.
But no, it was a big Cass who entered, and then Jericho came out at 2, and then they had a little bit of stuff going on, and then eventually Braun came out, and he was running the show for a while, and then you had some other guys come in. Baron Corbin came in, Sami Zayn came in, and there was a really nice sequence to eliminate Braun. And then it just kind of...
They just did the things.
It was just normal Royal Rumble for a bit there. Kofi's crazy avoid elimination spot was actually pretty tame this year. He got shoved off the top of the thing, and he landed chest first onto the big stanchion there. But his feet didn't hit the floor, and he pulled himself back up and got in the ring. I know that you want to use the new thing And it probably sounded cooler in his head than it turned out to be, but it was kind of a lame spot.
Yeah, it's just sort of there. And, we talked about this. This was a good Royal Rumble for who was in it.
Yeah.
It was a lot. It wasn't too many filler, not too many jobbers.
Yeah, but there weren't a whole lot of surprises. The only, surprise, and really shouldn't have been surprised, was Ty Dillinger at number 10, which, I mean, thank God they had the good sense to do that. Anyone else would have been terrible.
Points to you. Good job.
Yeah, good job with that. And then that was pretty much it for a while, and then we got to the later numbers, and some of the names started coming in. Bray Wyatt came in at, number 21. Randy Orton came in at number 23. Lesnar came in at 26.
And at this point, we were waiting because, my bet was Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
And we were just like, okay, when's he coming out? When's it happen?
All right, yeah. Lesnar came out, and then we're like, okay, tight. So Goldberg's coming out next. But no, they send out Enzo next to just get eaten by Brock Lesnar as soon as he gets into the ring. And what was admittedly a pretty funny exchange, but I think you could have done without that.
Yeah.
28 was Goldberg. He came in and then made Brock his bitch again. Just one spear and clotheslined him over the top. It was over in 26 seconds. 29 was The Undertaker, and thank God they had him teleport into the ring behind Goldberg instead of trying to make it down that ramp.
It was a beautiful thing.
Undertaker looked a little off here. He didn't look great. He looked like he was carrying some extra weight. He wasn't moving around so well. He did just come off of hip surgery, and I guess he needs another hip surgery coming up soon here. So he's probably at the end of his rope. I'm sure he'll want to try to wrestle at next year's WrestleMania, but
I have a feeling
I don't know if his body's going to do it, and that's why they're going forward with the whole Roman Reigns versus Undertaker thing, because Vince wants that to happen before Taker has to retire. He'll probably want to try to get the Cena match next year, but his body might not let him.
Yeah, I really hope that it doesn't end in a bad way, where something happens during a match.
Yeah, you want to go out on your own terms. You don't want to be like Hulk Hogan or someone like that and just wrestling well beyond when you should be wrestling, and
something
not
breaks.
being able to finish on your own terms. So speaking of Roman, he came out at number 30 to the chagrin of everyone.
We just looked and the hope drained from my face.
Yeah, it was fucking really, and it doesn't make any sense. He was in a title match. What if he had won that title match? Was he going to go and wrestle himself if he had won? I know that's probably Vince McMahon's secret wet dream.
I would have loved to see that. Well, how would they do that? That would have been fantastic. I want to see him just wrestle a mirror.
He eliminated The Undertaker, gave him a stare down, said, "This is my yard now." Undertaker sat up, said, "I'm not finished with you yet," walked off. So that's the WrestleMania match, it would seem.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tossed out the rest of the guys. It came down to Bray and Randy and Roman, and Roman eliminates Bray because of course he does. Mm-hmm. And then he walks into an RKO. Randy tosses Roman over, and Randy Orton wins the 2017 Royal Rumble.
Cool.
Now on that Undertaker Roman match, there's this guy who's popped up on Reddit. Goes by the username of Stanford Spoiler.
Okay.
And he's put out some predictions, and so far they've all been right.
Ooh.
And someone made a post about the elimination. He's like, "That's the look of a top heel right now," and he posts this date, March 3rd, 2017, or April 3rd, 2017, which is the day after WrestleMania. So maybe they're going to turn Roman Reigns heel after his match with The Undertaker.
Could you imagine?
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
There's no other because Undertaker's they can't be stupid enough to have Undertaker work heel that match. Just like they can't be stupid enough to do John Cena versus Randy Orton as the main event of WrestleMania.
Which everyone thought, for some reason.
Yeah, everyone just fearing the worst thought they were going to do that. But they can't be that stupid. So what I'm thinking is either he beats The Undertaker and retires him, which will get him nuclear heat no matter what, and then comes out the next night on Raw as like, kiss my ass, fuck all you people. You know what he should have done months ago.
A long time ago.
Or he loses a close match to The Undertaker and then just fucking snaps and beats the shit out of him and then explains himself on Raw the next night and turns heel. But fingers crossed, this guy hasn't been wrong yet.
Yep, it's like the World Cup octopus.
Yeah, Paul the Psychic Octopus. I remember that.
This is our version.
Stanford spoiler, man. I checked it out. Checked out his post history. Everything was bang on.
Oh man,
kind of spooky. So we'll see. That's one I'm hoping is going to be right. We'll see how WrestleMania plays out. We've got Elimination Chamber next week, so we'll be back next week with the predictions and then the live reactions. And hopefully we see our boy Bray bring home the belt. And that's going to do it for us. Royal Rumble, overall, a really good show. Rumble match itself, 3.5 stars.
Yeah, it was pretty
not as good as last year's Rumble in terms of like overall match quality. I think, having the title on the line just adds a little bit of extra excitement. But it was pretty good. Show overall, probably a strong candidate for Show of the Year. I mean, it's very early. Obviously, it's the first pay-per-view of the year.
But it's our first candidate.
Yeah, so it was a good show. 2 really good title matches, and the undercard was more or less okay.
It did a good job. It was like a nice brat. Supported it.
Anyway, that's our time for now. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.